Hello rebels and welcome back to my life. So today the Supreme Court of the United States ruled that it is unconstitutional to ban gay marriage by law, and that therefore all 50 states must immediately begin issuing marriage licenses to gay people who wish to have them. While the news has been greeted with overwhelming joy and enthusiasm across the internet, with happy posts going up on Facebook and Twitter and Tumblr. Kind of especially Tumblr. I mean, if you know Tumblr, you know that we're basically firing out rainbow diarrhea right now. There are also a number of dissenting opinions, and I'm not just talking about the 4 Supreme Court justices who dissented with the decision itself. From traditional marriage conservatives lamenting the moral decline of our country to the outright homophobic tirades of the slightly more insane, today's announcement seems like bad news for a vocal minority, although it must be mentioned they are a minority and we do live in a democracy. But for those browbeaten and weary souls, I offer you these 3 pieces of advice about gay marriage now that it is totally and completely legal in the United States. Number 1, polygamy still isn't legal and isn't likely to be. For some reason, this is like a major concern with people who oppose gay marriage, as though gay marriage will automatically mean that polygamy is also legal. Some have even claimed that today's decision makes polygamy legal. Well, you are wrong. The decision clearly and explicitly states that marriage is a union between 2 people, so whatever rabid voice in your head is screaming in hatred at the idea of multiple people getting it on at the same time, silence that voice, my friend. Number 2, you can't move away from the problem. One very common thing I'm hearing today for some reason is a statement along the lines of, "That's it, I've had it with this country, I'm moving to Canada." Guys, Canada legalized same-sex marriage a decade ago, so that's not going to do anything about the problem that you're trying to solve. They also have universal health care, which is paid for by taxes on the population, and I'm guessing you're also not a big fan of that. Same-sex marriage is also legal in New Zealand, Ireland, the United Kingdom, Denmark, the Netherlands, you know, like almost every English-speaking country in the world. If you want to move to a country that outlaws and even socially discriminates against same-sex marriage, you can move to Australia. I'm sure they would love to have you. Or you could go live in Jamaica, which oddly is like crazy homophobic, but 90% of the population is black, and again, I'm just guessing that's not really your kind of scene. Number 3, you don't have to have a gay marriage. Yeah, it turns out that the Supreme Court ruling did not include a mandated gay marriage for every citizen of these United States. Like, if you don't enjoy the idea of marrying another person of whatever gender you happen to be, you don't have to. There's also nothing in the decision about mandatory attending of gay weddings, or interestingly, mandatory viewing of gay pornography. I guess what I'm trying to say is the fact that gay people can now legally be wed in America doesn't affect you at all. 4, seriously, it doesn't affect you. I'm gonna go ahead and stress that last point with its own entry on this list. Gay marriage doesn't influence your life. By now, we've seen the famous cases where businesses have refused service to gay couples, from wedding cakes to pizza, and while that conduct is frankly kind of gross, they are protected. Any business has the right to refuse service to anyone for any reason, although you will catch a lot of flack for it because people can exercise their First Amendment rights to call you an asshole. The only people who are legally required to assist gay people to get married are government workers who issue marriage licenses. And that's because if you work for the government, you work for the law, not a religion, again, because the First Amendment is a thing that exists. I mean, if you're a post office worker, you're not allowed to not deliver someone's mail just because it happens to be a gay porn magazine, and if you work at the DMV, you're not allowed to not issue a driver's license just because the person happens to take their driving test in a Prius. In the end, to those who are unhappy about this decision, I will just say, please get over it. You're already going to be the bad guys in the Oscar-winning movie that's going to be made about this day in 5 to 20 years. Just don't make it worse for yourself. As always, thank you for watching, Rebels. An extra special shout out to my supporters on Patreon who make all of my YouTube videos possible. I will see them with a patron exclusive video tomorrow and the rest of you on Monday. Bye!